Well, you read my review. What impressed me was I don't think I've seen a Star Trek film feel so much like the original series, like this one does. Mm-hmm. Was that always the intention, or was that kind of something you were going for when
Yeah, that was kind of mine and Doug's remit to ourselves. It was like, let's create a film which is kind of like an episode of the original series, but, you know, in context of a modern, contemporary, spectacular blockbuster, what a summer film kind of has to be these days. Mm-hmm. Let's have our cake and eat it. Let's marry year 1 to year 50 and create a sort of Star Trek for the ages. That was what our intention was all along, and what we really shot for.
And you both have grown with these characters, and obviously people have kind of embraced these characters. What has been the challenge for you to keep it fresh and to keep it interesting?
Yeah, look, I think it's important, especially in the 50th year, if we do not continue to keep it fresh and offer up new material, and then obviously keep it socially relevant and at the cutting edge, which is what Star Trek always was, then we would be doing a huge disservice to the legacy of Gene Roddenberry. So the challenge is always to do better than what we've done in the past. And in this film, obviously, the different sort of elements that we bring forth is a deepening of relationships. The relationship between Bones and Spock, for example, is taken to a territory that I don't believe has ever been seen before. And of course, we're on the social boundaries. We're pushing the fronts of having Sulu's character be gay. And for all of us, we're very proud of that. We're proud of the fact that there's a generation of young men and women who are celebrating the fact today that they are represented, and that is just wonderful in a major blockbuster film.
And that was handled really well. I credit you, because we kept hearing news about it, and we kept, obviously they were talking about it.
Yeah.
But the way you dealt with it is so simple and so just, it's not a big deal.
Well, it was always supposed to be that, and it became a big deal before anyone saw it, kind of thing, for various reasons. But yeah, it was always our intention to make it just seem like it was part of the fabric, and as it should do. And I'm really happy we did. And George's comments were kind of slightly whipped up into a slightly more of a spat than it was. George and I spoke about it all the time, and he knew we were going forward with it, even though his reservations were completely valid. I think it's something he would have liked to have done with Gene Roddenberry back in the day, something they probably wanted to do, but were prevented from doing so because of the social situation at the time. People were definitely not ready for that. They were hardly ready for the interracial kiss. Some networks wouldn't even show that. And Gene Roddenberry is a very, very smart guy who wanted to, affect social change in an intelligent way. And you do that carefully, and you do that with intelligence. And I think, if George and Gene could have done that back in the day, they absolutely would have. It was never us saying Gene should have done that. Yeah. He probably wanted to,
Yeah. Well, and things have changed so much, and but again, I think what I liked about this too is that it doesn't feel like the big it feels like a blockbuster from the ages where you would actually take time to actually develop characters. It's not all action, and I think the big summer blockbusters have become just action.
Yeah, well, that's and it's the difference between that and Star Trek. Star Trek is about character. It has always been about a cult of personality. You tuned in to see how these characters who you loved overcome, any given challenge. And if you don't have that, then you just have a vacuous sci-fi special effects extravaganza, and that's never going to fly with a modern audience. They're far too smart for that.